Good afternoon, people. I thought I would try to come from a more shamanistic, or let's say medicine man point of view today about what's going on in the world. You have to really reflect on what the elders of all the indigenous nations say about what's going on right now. Well, you have to start at square number one. Square number one to me is what is the way we're treating the earth, or what is the way that we have treated Unsi Maka, Mother Earth? Do we even deserve to live on this planet? Look at what we're doing to the planet and the environment. Let's talk about weather modification. Let's talk about weather wars. Let's talk about pollution from all the vehicles. Let's talk about the vibe of mankind. Because Unsi Maka is alive. She's alive. It's a living entity. The planet is a living entity. And she hasn't been treated right for a long, long time. So retribution from Unsi Maka, or Mother Earth, is overdue. And so, and from the cosmos in general, shit's happening, people, that you don't even know about. It's all coming to a head, and this is just a physical manifestation. What we're seeing surrounding us, and I've done tons and tons of videos about all this shit that's going on around us right now with the lockdowns and all that stuff and the masks. If you want to see what's really happening, just review some of my last 10 videos. In fact, I knew back in 2014 this shit was going to happen. This is called mass psychosis. This is called menticide, the killing of the mind. That's what it's called, menticide, the killing of the mind. And the spirit. I mean, the mind is connected to the spirit. So if you destroy the mind and the spirit by it's unbelievable, I'm just reflecting. It's you destroy the mind and the spirit with what's going on now, with what's being propagated, with what's being put out in an energy level on the planet, in this third dimension, this fake reality that we live in, this dream that we live in. It's being saturated with pure unadulterated bullshit. Pure unadulterated bullshit at the present time. And chaos too. I mean, MK Ultra on steroids. MK Ultra being the mind control instituted by the CIA. And others, not just the CIA. They can't fool the indigenous people, not the real ones, not the elders. I mean, sure, a lot of people are getting fooled on the reservation too, but the ones that really know, the ones that are beyond the dimension that we live in, that can see things from other dimensions. You can't fool them. I should say us. You can't fool us. Chaos surrounds us. It surrounds us right now. It is us. Anything that affects the masses, anything that affects the masses, affects the collective unconscious or the collective consciousness, whatever you want to say. And so you practically, you can't live in the environment, in this realm, in this ether, in this third dimensional etheric projection that we live in. You can't live here in this dimension. You can't live on this level, on this frequency, without getting affected by the mass collective unconsciousness. And it affects us. Don't think it doesn't, because we're all connected. Big time. And so what's being perpetrated upon this mass consciousness, these people, this humanity, these human beings on this planet? What's being perpetrated? Menticide, a killing of the mind. Through what means? With the means that they have right now for propaganda and for brainwashing and for affecting the frequency of mankind, from satellites from outer space beaming down frequencies. They've known about this shit for years, and so have I. The thing is that they can beam down frequencies from space now. 5G and all that bullshit. They can radiate the fucking earth. They can change realities. The technology has gone so far beyond what most people can imagine that you would think you were in a science fiction horror movie or something. That's where we're at right now. And so what you have to do is you have to realize that you're sitting in a theater and you're watching a movie. It's a projection. It's a projection of the mass consciousness. It's a projection against the dark sea of etheric manifestation. The dark sea is everywhere. It surrounds us. What we see out there, we don't really see. We're projecting. We're projecting out. Okay? And what we project out on a mass consciousness level makes itself real. It's a circular thing. You suck in energy and you push out energy. You suck in the energy through your breath, through the prana that comes in with your breath and that breathing mechanism. You suck that in, and then you project it out and you create your own reality. That's how shit works, people. And so if they can create what you suck in, you'll project that out. And so if you suck in a lot of fear and anxiety and make yourself tense and nervous, well, they feed off that. And who do I mean by they? Well, there are dark powers. You could put any name on them you want. Does it really matter? I mean, the Bible thumpers call them demons and devils and stuff like that. And then there's just what I would call massive plasma amounts of negative energy. Now, what about negative energy? Is negative energy something that you're going to let make a victim out of you? Are you going to let that negative energy that's being projected make a victim out of you and cower and hide in a corner and, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, and what am I going to do now? Where do I go now? How do I cope with this? Or that's one way you can deal with it, or there's another way you can deal with it. You have to become like a predator, just like you see in the animal kingdom. Do you want to be the victim or the predator? If you're a predator, what do predators do? Well, they feed off of their prey. So what they're doing, what the dark ones are doing, is they're predators, okay, and they're feeding off the prey of mankind, except some of mankind is aware enough to not be a prey, but to be a predator in return. And so when you're a predator in return, you take that energy, realizing that really there is no such thing as bad energy or good energy. That's an illusion. It's just energy. It's what you make of it. So when those dark forces, those dark entities, those dark frequencies attack you, what do? You become a predator, and you gobble them up. That's what you do. You gobble them up. You take all that energy that they're projecting at you, you receive it, and then you put it down into your dantian, or to 1.5 inches below your navel in your center, and you use alchemy to transmute that energy into gold. What's gold? Well, gold is love. That's what it is. Gold is love. You transmute. It's an alchemical process, just like the ancient alchemists used to take lead and make it into gold through different alchemical processes. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to do the same thing. You have to learn how to control your energy field. You have to learn how to control your frequency. You don't have to be a victim. You can be a predator. You can take all this negative energy, or energy, like I said before, there's really not negative. This whole duality thing that we perceive is just that, a perception. It's not real. It's something that you perceive because of what you've been taught in life. You were taught good and evil, bad, bad, good, good. Don't do this, do that. Feel guilty about this, fear this. Fear that. Fear this and that. Whatever. So that's what you spit back out into your reality, and all this religious crap, dogma, bullshit, twisted scriptures. I can't tell you how many books of the Bible they took out to make it the Bible. They took hundreds of Gnostic scriptures out to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Stuff you're not supposed to know because they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to know how energy works. And this has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. The Taoists know all about inner alchemy. Okay? So do a lot of Hindu practitioners. And then you have all kinds of thought, even Hermetics, okay? But this is the same thing that the indigenous people were saying in a different way. The great enlightened ones, the elders of the indigenous nations, like the Hopi, have been saying this kind of stuff in different ways. And through metaphor, through projection of myth, which isn't really myth, people call it myth, but what it is it's metaphor, and it's also reality, because did the indigenous nations hook up and connect with the Star Brothers? Well, hell yes. Long time ago. And there are benevolent and malevolent Star Brothers, just like there are people, because they're just a tier or two or three above us. But above that is still the Creator, Wakantanka, Tunkashila. The Great Mystery, the Way, the Tao, whatever you want to call it. It still reigns supreme, even though there are gods and off-planet Star Brothers and celestial beings and all kinds of things surrounding us in other dimensions you can't even see. Even dogs can see better than you can see. They can hear better than you can hear, because they hear pitches and sounds, and they see colors beyond the spectrum, and they feel things and they smell things. That's the problem with humanity, see. They lost their wolf sense. They lost it. They're thinking too much. They're not using intuition. They're not using feeling. They're not using everything that is at your disposal as a aware, conscious human being. This is just a frank talk about what the fuck's going on, people. You can use these ideas and these words that I'm saying to kind of get a concept of what the whole big picture is all about, so that you can somehow, through the strength of your inner core and your spirituality and what you know to be true, what you feel to be true, I should say, not know, because feeling is something. Just like the wolf has an intuition, a feeling, not just the wolf, lots of animals, but I'm using the wolf here as a metaphor. You got to get into the feeling part. You got to know from a feeling point of view. Knowledge from an intellectual point of view doesn't cut it. You got to know from a feeling point of view. What do you feel is right? What do you feel? You're not going to hear other people talking about this kind of stuff, because there's not a whole lot of shamans out there. There's a lot of people that are into different movements and different concepts and different politics. The politics of life, the politics of one side against the other, the politics of confusion. The politics of mind excitement and confusion and false hope. You don't really need to worry about anything, people. Not really, because you just need to sit back and let the world form around you. Sit back and let the world form around you, and try to take an active part in creating that world Not through, I gotta try, but through just inner alchemy. Just the fact that you should realize that you're part of this creative process and that you can have an effect on that dark sea and the currents out there that are floating around in it. You can have an effect on it with your thoughts. And you can also do what I mentioned earlier about using the alchemical process to purify everything that's bombarding you and make it gold, make it love. People say the love vibration. I'm talking about real love. I'm not talking about just, hey man, I'm having a little beer today. Is that okay? I have a beer a day. Wow, that's really something. I know people that drink 3 6-packs a day. I think I'm radical because I drink a beer a day. Or maybe a glass of wine. Yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to get frightened about how is this all going to end? Is it going to come to a head? Well, Thunder has told you many times that there's endings and beginnings, and there's going to be a transition period in between, and you may live through it or not live through it. But once you get to the point where living and dying is all the same thing, and there really is no such thing as death, not on a metaphysical level there isn't. That's what counts. So you just kind of sit back and let the world form around you. Smoke your peace pipe. Relax. Smoke a little tobacco, smoke a little peace pipe, smoke a little herb, take a little herb, do whatever you need to do to just relax. Because their whole thing is feeding off fear and anxiety and panic. They're actually trying to panic. They are panicking, a lot of people right now. And who knows who's really, again, who knows who's in control of the panic. I mean, again, you can call it anything you want, but does it really fucking matter if it's dark energy and if it's manipulative energy and something that you can feel palpably in the etheric realm around you, in this fluid mass that you can't even see on a vibrational level, I'll get that right. You just try as hard as you can, but don't try, just do it. Pay no mind, pay no heed to the silly machinations of these ignorant, pathetic, psychotic entities around you. And they are manifesting as people. They jump right into people. It's like skinwalkers, you know. They'll jump right into you in a minute. You got to be on your guard, man. Burn a lot of sage and meditate and pray. There's nothing wrong with praying either. That's an affirmation of it's a positive affirmation if you let it be, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as you keep it in the positive. You don't want to sit there and say, oh, help me, help me. Just know what you want to do, again, is be empowered through it. And say, empower me. to help myself. Empower me to help myself. Give me the strength that is one with you, Great Spirit. Give me the strength that is one with you. Empower me. Come into my body, invigorate it, empower it, make it be in balance. Give me balance. Give me fortitude and courage. And know that you're watched out for. You're always watched out for. Don't think that just even if you leave this plane or you've come from another plane or you're in this existence, you're always watched out for. You're always a part of the mind of the creation. You're always a part of that mind. You can't be separate from it. You are the bubble in the ocean. The ocean is God. The ocean is Great Spirit. You're a bubble. That's what you are, floating around in this fluid mass we call reality. That's all you are, is a bubble. The bubble thinks that it's something other than it is the problem. See, we're all bubbles, and most people don't know that they're part of the ocean. We're all connected, people. And one bubble will boop, disappear, another bubble will appear. Another one will disappear, another one will appear. It's all one big, gigantic, fluid plasma mass. And the stuff that we see around us is an illusion. It's energy. That's what I mean when I say illusion. I mean it's energy. It's thought forms. You take that energy out there in the dark sea, and what you do is you project thought forms. Okay, and these thought forms become solid. And there's the chair, and there's the wall, and there's the picture, and there's this, and there's that. Everything is a projection of your mind. It's a slow process. You might buy the picture at the store, but you're still manifesting it through a slower process. But in reality, you don't even need to buy the picture at the store. You could just manifest it right before you. So what I would do right now is, since you're a creator, is to start to manifest lots of benevolent forces around you, and love. Full of love. Project love all the time, no matter what's hitting you, no matter if you get into an argument with your significant other, or the world's going to hell in a handbasket, or whatever the hell's going on. Try to concentrate and focus on love as an output, breathing in the energy from the universe, putting out love. Because love is the strongest weapon there is. Don't let people fool you and make you think that you're some kind of sissy or weak or something because you have love. True love, giving to others, putting out that love to others. Don't let anybody fool you. That works. Jesus knew that because he said, love your enemies. Well, did he mean that you're going to go up and give them a big wet kiss? Not really. The power of love is stronger than a sword. It's the spirit. It's the sword of the spirit is what it is. Love is the sword of the spirit. It's a weapon. But it can be used any kind of ways, okay, as a weapon, or it can be used to heal. But if you just put it out there, the ones that are dark, the ones that don't like love, it will be a weapon automatically. You won't even have to make it a weapon. It just hits them, and that love vibe hits them, and they just don't know what the fuck to do because they're in a very dark place. So you got to just keep giving out that love vibe, people. And don't worry about whether you live or die. Just give out the love vibe. You'll get your reward one way or another. Believe me. And I know it's hard to do. Nobody said that being a loving person was easy. Maybe that's the whole ball of wax, people. You think? To see how much you can love while you're in this environment. Because it's all an illusion, and the sooner that you raise your frequency above the fact that it's real and send out love, well then what the fuck matters after that? Eh? I'll leave it there. Adios.